Has somebody sold his property? What has happened? And so if somebody sells his property or her property, so what happens? He must or she must replace that property. And how do you replace it? You must find dubious ways, dubious ways of getting that. Because now, if you are an LC, one chairperson, you spent maybe 50 million shillings, 100 million shillings. You are not earning a salary. There's no serious thing that you're going to see that you're going to money from. I mean, you must find other ways of getting money. And that's when you find, people doing very dubious deals, selling plots of land to many customers and many people at the same time, one piece of land. So I think there are issues. So for me, we must make sure that this question of using a lot of money doing an electoral process, I think really stops. And as you mentioned, that this is flowing down from the upper elections maybe to these lower elections. Yeah. And I think something must be done at that level to stop it.
Okay. Well, there's like you rightfully said, there's a feeling that these elections have been commercialized, that the fear is that office has been commercialized and people don't fully understand what they're getting into, that they're getting in for the benefits of, I need a stamp from you, I'm going to, stamp. And we think it's very little money, but when you actually count at the end of the month how many people have gone for a stamp, a letter, or a land transaction or something, they should be making quite a bit of money. They
do, because I mean, a village, you might find a village with about 1,000 people. So you can imagine if each of those 1,000 people comes for something from you, and you're charging maybe 10,000. Yeah. I mean, that's good money. That's good money.
Okay. Well, how can political actors benefit from, I'm even afraid to ask this question, but how can they benefit from these LC structures?
The political actors?
Yes.
At the high level?
Yes.
Well, I think it will depend on what they want to use them for. If some of them want to pocket them and use them as as their agents, I don't know what, and misuse them actually, not even use them, but misuse them, send them on funny errands and so on. Yeah, they are there, they'll be used. But for me, I would like to say this, that these guys who are going to take up these positions, I think should not be like the guys that we see at the moment, because a number of them today are just agents, are just followers, are just sycophants, are just, I mean, people who don't reason, when they're taking up decisions or doing something that, it should be done. They're not doing things as expected of them. So for me, we need to get people who are not going to be sycophants. So the political leaders at the moment, I think, also need to deal carefully with these people. One, as I said, we need to agree on what kind of assignments we are going to give to these people. So if we give these people those assignments, then they should work within the limits of those assignments. Yeah. If we get them to do other things, I think that will be very unfortunate. I'll give you an example. There was a recruitment, I think, of crime preventers just before the 2016 elections. And the reports that we used to get is that whoever successfully joins that group of crime preventers must have been vetted and gone through a process of the LC. And what was happening is that the LCs were electing people who are associated with a certain party. If you come in and you say, maybe you are from DP, I don't know, CP, from where, you stand almost no chance of getting in there.
As a crime preventer.
Yeah. So for me, that's a problem. And I don't think that that's what we expect our LCs to be like. And so even the political leaders should not use these LCs to play such games. Let's look at the LCs as maybe development agents. Let's look at them as perhaps people who can create peace and harmony in the area. Let's look at them as agents that are going to foster, community development. I mean, things that are going to help the community, but not people who are going to be used for personal errands.
Are they the first voice of the people?
They should be. Because, I mean, whatever happens in the village, and I run to you, yes. Also, of course, this common practice. When a key leader comes to your community, the LC one chairperson is the one who comes out first to welcome you and maybe say something and so on. And of course, in that process, they can be a voice to the people. They can be a voice for the people, because they'll mention, they'll discuss, they'll request for things that perhaps are lacking within the village, within the community. So I think they are voices of the people. But I think they must be objective voices. There must be voices that are developmental, voices that are going to help the community, not voices that are going to praise. Because like if I'm a leader, I come into your community, instead of speaking very key and important issues, you start saying, oh, John Mary's a man, you will have him, he's so good, what? And you even tell him that he is doing things which he's not even doing that are helping the community. So I think we need to avoid that. We need to have LCs that are going to be developmental and quite objective.
All right. Well, thank you very much, John Mary. I'm not about to let you go though yet, so don't start to relax. We've been having pictures from Nansana on our screen, but we're joined by Sudhir Byarhanga, and Chamagero is in Nansana, and he'll give us an update on what's happening there later on. But let's hear from Sudhir Byarhanga, well, Sudhir will join us later. I think he's still getting ready and collecting the information that we will need to continue to give us an update on what is happening. So, John Mary, do you think that the LC system is good for security? Looking at what's been happening in the country, all the women matters, all the really general matters, the kidnappings, do you think it's good for us?
Well, I think it can be good if it's organized. But I think the way it stands really, nothing good about it. And I think the way it should be organized is that, one, it's very important for this LC person to know almost everybody on that village. I don't know how they can do that, but it's very, very important that this LC person here gets to know each and everybody. Of course, you can create systems that you get to know each other. If I'm the chairman, of course, I'll not be able to reach in every household on the village. But we've got structures, we've got people I'm working with and so on. They should be able to. At a certain
point, we're pushing for community policing. That's what was happening within the force.
Yes. And I think it can work if it's properly used. But I think the problem I've been telling you is that some of that community policing, those people that are being used for that were being used for other purposes, and not the gist of the matter that they're supposed to work on. And so for me, this can be a good system to create security in a village if it's properly used. But one thing that I would like to emphasize is that the LCs need to be properly inducted. The LCs need to be properly trained. The LCs need to be properly guided. If we don't do that, we are still going to have people who are just there, they've been elected, they sit around, they don't even know what to do and so on.
We'll then have the same 17 years we've been having.
Yeah, sure. so for me, it's very, very important that this LC that has been elected must go through some induction.
Okay. All right, but let's hear from Sudhir Byarhanga. Sudhir, I can guess where you are, but I can't exactly tell. So where are you and what's happening?
At a place called Muzana in Chisenyi in Kampala, a very highly contested area. In the middle week, we've been seeing people running around, chanting slogans of their candidates, and this is a very, very hot spot within this central part of Kampala, where people are expected to be selecting or choosing their next LC chairpersons. And of course, this place has about 4 parishes, one of them being Muzana, where we are. There is Bwanika, there is Blue Room, among others. And there are 5 candidates who are contesting in this area. But as we observed earlier, we saw very many youths running around, chanting, and of course, sometimes at some point they would block the road. And then of course police is already in place. We couldn't go the other side where it's about 15 meters away where the polling station is. We try to keep a little bit away so that we can speak to one of the NRM leaders within this area, that is Uhuru, who is a very renowned person, very popular in this place. So Uhuru, we wanted to hear from you. How many candidates from NRM are contesting in this place?
Well, I'm the NRM chairman, Kampala Central, and we have so far total of 5 candidates in this particular area of Muzana. We have 1 flag bearer of the NRM, and actually the rest, the independents also on NRM. The one who has come as the 2 independents who are all NRM, and so the DP and the FDC who are there.
And then you said that those who are supposed to be NRM decided to change, make a U-turn and become candidates. I mean, independent candidates. What caused that?
Well, it is my duty to see that because I've been monitoring the whole of Kampala to make sure our candidates are there. I got a report that most of them are going independent, so I had to verify why they were doing that. And I've reached in this area. Yes, I've seen some of them coming as independent. So I condemn that act. If you're a flag bearer of NRM, it is you have to stick as a flag bearer. Not at the last minute you come as independent. So I condemn that act.
As you know that to be a very good political game player, it all starts from the grassroots. What does this mean to NRM?
Well, you can see the community are all excited, very, very excited, which means they have been yearning for this election, and good enough, someone will now come out and be answerable, because you have seen the insecurity in the country, and the moment they elect their leader, the leader immediately is supposed to elect his committee with the defense security team. So I expect the crime rate to reduce, because there will be someone answerable in this particular village and zone, whereby if anything happens, there's someone on ground to verify that.
And then what should people expect?
People should first go and vote their leaders. I, for one, it's very unfortunate I won't be voting, as for one, because the candidates who are participating are all NRM. So there's no way I'm going to divide them, but I wish them success. And it's upon your actions, because as per now we have got 29 unopposed NRM chairmen already. That shows they have performed very well. So according to the rest who are there, it is their actions that will make them win or lose.
Will this issue of lining up augur well with many people? Because I saw many youths who are very highly charged and ready to beat whoever might vote otherwise.
You know, there's advantages and disadvantages, but for now we are going with the lining up. But for future reference, we should condemn this kind of act. It should stop, and stop by today. But we have to go ahead with the lining up. Advantage of the lining up, again, when you line up there, you'll really say, if you look behind, you see nobody, just know you lost. That's the advantage of it. And when you win, you just see the majority of people on your side, and you begin saying, I'm the winner. But for us, some of us would love to vote.
Okay. Thank you so much. That is Uhuru there. My camera person wanted us to move to the other side. The polling station is just a few meters away to see what's happening in the place. It's a very, very, very highly contested area, very hot. But I wanted to know, Chamagero in Nasa now, how is it going that side?
Well, thank you, Sudil Biaruhanga. I'm coming to you live from Nansa na Chebando, but the situation here is a little more tense. Elections had actually to start a little more earlier. Registration and the checking of the registrar, the registration equally had to start earlier. But we have a problem. There was a register that was found that didn't have all the factors the locals actually know. The place where I am, it has actually 4 villages. We have Chebando zone. It has 5 contestants. We have Nsumbi, it has 3. And in Ganda zone, elections were cancelled after one of the contestants actually died. And we have one in Bujuko. We have 4 contestants there. Now in Chebando zone, we have Nyenje Umar is competing. We have Mwanje Richard. He has actually been the chairman. He's just back. We have Musitwa, Muchiaba, and one other name that I've actually failed to trace. When you go to Nsumbi, we have 3. We have Muawu, we have Fred Lumu, and Katongole Mark. Currently, the situation is still a little tense. They have not even started to check their registration, and they still have their queries. They have their complaints. Mukamange jangu togeremu. Amanya ne doboze. Amanya bampita Frank Nuwagaba abamugwe banyigada mzonia. Ova muzoni chi? Mva muzoni ye Chebando. Aha. Ensonga lwaki tonnayingira munda wali? Ensonga eriwo kati okulonda kuno basose ne bakwetamu obucankala mu bungi. Abantu bennyini abasiramu basose ne bayingira mu gate ne bagisiba. Bwe bamaze okugisiba ne basoma register naye nga asoma register yennyini y'omu ku bantu be nga bakkiriza abantu baabwe okuyingira. Abantu ba Nyenje Umaru obwedda be bayingira mu ntandikwa. Bwe bamaze okuyingira ate nga neeri batugamba ekifo kirina kubeera nga kiri gazetted naye emabega w'amasomero ng'ate waggula abantu bayingira nga bwe baagala. Bwe bamaliriza ne tukomplaininga ku nsonga
eyo bonna ne bafuluma tolwedde baadde babawadde bukuponi nga babusayinizeeko emabega bwe bamaliza okufuluma osi ne tumugamba nti tetugenda kukwatagana nakyo ne batukkiriza ne tufuluma wabweru bwe tumaze okufuluma wabweru akavuyo ne kakomawo ate era nga kava ku regisita zibadde nga zirina kuba 5 ate basoose kusoma regisita eyaabwe gye baataddemu nga regisita siisayiningeko ate nga mu mateeka regisita erina okuba nga yasayiningiddwako electoral commission yensonga enkulu agenti waffe abadde azirabyeko ezimu naye eno nga teriiko na kigambo nti oba 1/5 naye ate nga ziri namu bwe zirina okuba agenti waffe nga nze campaigning manager wa Mwanja Richard chairman kati tukanyiza nti tetugenda kukkiriziganya na regisita eyo ne zino ezisigaddewo kubanga tetulina bukakafu bulaga nti oba ne zino ezisigaddewo tebazitaddemu bintu byonna ebyo byonna babicupudde basobole otulemesa ffe wano ku Kyebando ffe tusingako obuwagizi era ffe tusingako abantu abangi bano bonna abantu bazze ku lwaffe era kutuwa kalulu naye bwe baba batandiseemu ebintu ebyo tubiganye tetugenda kukkiriza
mukamange gwokyogerako
ensonga ekya regisita nze nganze sijja kuwagira regisita ncupule olw'obulungi bw'abatuuze bange okitegeera bamulimu babamba baffe ne bajjajjaffe ne bato baffe okitegeera ne baganda baffe nze nganze mba njagala bagobera emitendera emituufu ate n'ekyokubiri ekyokuleeta amagye okukangakanga abantu
olabidde ku kinti amazze gazze kukanga gazze kukuuma butereevu
teri magye we gajja nga tegagenda kuvuya okitegedde kuba tetugalabe gumu ebiri ne mukonda kwa Museveni wano tuze tukola ki tubalaba ffe tetujja kuva ku nsonga yaffe ffe nga ffe aba DP era bawagira Mwanje okitegeera twagala akaluka lambule mu mitendera nga bateregisita entuufu buli muntu eyaregisitalinga nalina ndagamuntu y'ekitundu kyaffe kino agenda alonda akaki basimbe layini n'abatabulika bali eri munda batuyambe bafulumeyo tutaliwe kuyingira omu ku omu
bagamba gwe kyoteetaaga batabulike kubeera munda eri
tetumanya nti kati tutumanyi basayidi ki tetwagala bafulume buli omuli muntu tugobere emitendera emituufu bayingire kisa kinnoomu omu ku omu ki
alright tukyayifuna endowooza z'abantu sabo gye bali amanya n'eddoboozi
amanya nze Kafero Joseph
olondya mu zoni ki
zoni y'Ekyebando endowooza nga nebadde egamba bweti embeera yonna ya direction commission yataddewo embeera eya regisita girimu ebicupoli nze mbadde ndowooza bwenti singa bakutte abantu bonna abalina ndagamuntu ng'esoma zooni mwalondera n'ayingira munda ne baleeta zooni endala ne basigala ebweru ne bafuna omuntu abo abalina zooni mwatalondera Nsumbi Ganda Bujuuko ne yava Masaka nga yafuna obudde ne yeewandiisa bandi muwadde omukisa n'ayingira
nga twesa ndagamuntu
ey'Ekyebando
si registration
senga ndagamuntu esooka neereka Ekyebando ne bayingira bo ne bayingira abalina ndagamuntu ezisoma ewalala ne bagenda mu regisita ne banoonya erinnya wafuna obudde nojja ne weewandiisa dde oli mutuuze yandibadde kiriya saa twavudde dda wano kyendibadde nteesa basooke bayingiza abantu abali mu zooni eyo banoonye zooni endala ezeebwe zisigale ebweru abo bagende ku layini basome linnya ku linnya bw'oba wafuna obudde nga wava Masaka osula mu nsu ne weewandisiza Ekyebando ojja kuyingira kuba wafuna obudde naye ow'Ekyebando oyinza oba saafuna budde n'endagamuntu yange ndagalondera wano kyembadde nteesa
olowooza kino kivudde ku ki kyonna ekigenda mu maaso
ekigenda mu maaso kivudde ku regisita nambeera nti baasose ne bagaba bukoponi abamu abasoose nga babuyina abamu tuzeleeti nga batugamba bamu bali munda ne babafulumya bufulumya ze bane ndowooza basooke bawa omukisa bali mu Kyebando balondera mu zooni omwo mwennyini bo bayingire kati ava ebujuuko agende mu lukalala kuba ebibiina weebiri bagambe bagende bwe bati yentesa yange.
Well, there you have it. Sudil Biaruhanga, I understand we have a correspondent in Chisenyi. How is the situation? Because back here it's a little more tense. The issue comes from the registration. There is a registration that doesn't have all the qualities of the previous registration as it was aligned by the Electoral Commission.
The major problem here, or what is happening in Kisenyi Muzana zone, there is nothing like the issue of registration and other things to do with polling, but it's rather the highly charged youths here in the area. Some of them who take substances, banned substances, of course very happy, ready to support their candidates. We have one of the candidates, that is Lukwago Assad. Assad, what do you stand for?
ngenda kwogera Luganda mu kintu kino abaliwo bonna bakifune bulungi. Manya Lukwago Assad, embeera eriwo mpozi emirimu gikyereyemu katono okulonda nga programu entambula yaayo
nti abakola ku kulonda bakalubiziddwamu okusooka bakandidate tuli bangi naye ng'ate n'abalonzi bangi kino kyekimu ku byalo ekirina abalonzi 2,000 ekitatera kusangibwa n'olw'ensonga eyo kireeseewo mukko abantu obutategeeragana olubereberye naye nga bwe tumaze tutegeeraganye era pulogulaamu y'okkebera amanya kati etambula tusuubira bwe ziwerera 5 okulonda kujja kugenda mu maaso.
Asad ndabyeko abavubuka wano nga basanyufu nnyo omusaayi muto ate balinga balina eryanyi lingi osuubira nti akalulu kanagwira biki ebinaabaawo?
Abayusi bangi ne boolabye bali abasanyufu abakulembeze ababaddewo emyaka 2 emabega yabadde omukulembeze naye okuba nti alina byakozeeko ekyo abavubuka balabye nga waatuuse takyasobola kutambuza bayusi. Yusi Lukwago Saadi alina puroguramu egenda okutambuza ekintu kino okulaba nga bayusi buli muyusi ali wano tulwanyisa okubeera n'emirimu. Ebbula ly'abayusi eddene erisinga abali wano ne boolaba Saadi njagala ombuulire emirimu ba youth onaaje banoonyeza otya? Oyina factory, oyagala kugulawo factory, ogenda kukola oti? Nze mwennyini ndi musajja muyiiya era ne byenkola bingi bwe ŋŋamba ndi nja kunoonya emirimu kyenjogerako bakimanyi naye nga mu ngeri eyo wakawaako bameka emirimu? Okusinziira nti tujja kukolagana bulungi n'abaddukanya ebifo bino bannannyini by'abagagga tulabe nti bayusi bano bonna tubateekateeka buli omu n'aba ne kyakola okusinziira ku pulogulaamu y'eggwanga. Bagambe nti abalondebwa balina okuba nga baliko ebbali eweewalako. Ndaba oli kumpi okumye kumpi kyekiddire olinga agamba nti oyagala olaba n'akulonda n'atakulonde? Akalulu kali open ka ku mugongo kwegamba abantu bonna kiba kitegeeza nti bagenda kukulonda ng'obalaba. So kino kyenkola bannange bali na munda boje basinze okulowooza nti ewali omulamwa naye nze ne ŋŋamba kambeera eno ssaawa y'okusimba ku mugongo bwe neeba etuuse nga nnyingira nga abawagizi bange bansimba. That is sad. They are standing on the ticket. As you can see on this side, people have already lined up. Very long queues from the other side up to the side. People came here as early as 7, waiting to rally behind their candidates to choose them for the next local council election. And as you get closer this side, inside here it's very, very highly protected. They are limiting the number of people who enter here, but I'm trying my best to see if I can have access inside. I can see, but as you can see, this is going to be one of the unique elections. Very, very unique in its way, where you must rally behind someone if you support them or not. And recently, during the launch of the quarterly report by Uganda Law Society, they said that one of the things that are detrimental to democracy is rallying behind a candidate, because it might not augur so well with some people, especially when you do not have the free right to choose who you want or who you don't want. And of course, you can sit down on this other side. There is security. The polling, everything is in place. The agents are already there. They have already demarcated to ensure that they lock out people who are not supposed to be entering or interfering with an election, well controlled, and so that they can avoid chaos in the area. Chamagero, I would like to know what could be happening in that area in Nansana. Have they resolved the issue of the register where there were some anomalies?
Well, thank you, Sidil. We still have a challenge with regards to settling the scores with regards to the registrar. They're still having peace talks between the ones with the distance. They're talking to them. Police is trying to engage them to see how best they can have a lasting solution to this, because many people are complaining they had work to do. Most of them bantu bawansi balina ebyokola, so they feel their time is being actually wasted. And not only that, there are still issues to deal with security. We have seen a couple of soldiers around and they feel this is way too much manpower security-wise. And we have a couple of people who want to talk. Nyabu, good morning.
Morning, how are you? I'm fine, how are you?
Are you a voter from this way?
I'm a voter from this way, even I have a national ID from here.
Yes.
I'm suggesting that maybe people who registered on these polling stations, we should be given a right to vote, while those who came from other areas and registered later here, they should also be given an opportunity. Otherwise, they are wasting our time. We are ready to vote, and they have different registers, which doesn't make sense. Let's follow the national ID. Maybe it will help us identify who is who, so that the voting can go on. Otherwise, we are ready. If it means staying here the whole day, we are ready to stay around and vote for our candidate, DPOE.
I understand, but the challenge is there was a query of another registrar that you saw through. What do you make of that?
That register should not be considered. There is a register that we registered some time back. I don't know where it is. If it has disappeared, let us use our national IDs and we vote. We are ready to vote. We only have today to vote. We have left our work elsewhere and we have come here today. We have given it a day to vote our chairman.
Don't you think if they're just going to consider the national card, rather the national ID, rather than the ones in the registrar, don't you think this is going to be another loop someone could actually use to manipulate the election?
Yeah, it can be, but since they don't have a registrar, that is the best solution now we can take by using the national ID.
I hear
they
you.
Cannot avail the national.
Well, there you have it. You can actually see it. You can actually hear that. A lot more is happening. Wakamange sebo jebali. Kale
sebo. Oli wambukisa kubanga ndi ku lukiiko luno olugenda okuvaako. Ndi mobilizer ate ndi mwana muzaale waako.
Tunule mu kamera mu
amannya agange nze Nnyenje Manusul nkolanga mobilizer. Nkolanga mobilizer ku lukiiko luno olugenda okuvaako. Obuvuyo buno bwonna obuliwo buzibu nnyo. Ekireese obuzibu nze enteekateeka nkiraba ku gavumenti. Tuluddewo nnyo okuba nti nno nti tulonda akalulu naye kaabalema okutegeka. Owulidde nze kakadi nnina endagamuntu ya ggwanga ate regisita ya muntu buntu. Kakadi regisita zaafulumye nadda ng'amannya agalimu g'abantu buntu. Kati ekyeggwanga kiri kye kyali badde kikola ye ndowooza yange.
Kyogezaako Tessa tukozese endagamuntu.
Kati kye ŋŋamba eri ekiri munda nabadde wa mukisa. Akantu kano nenfuna akantu kano kati akasembayo okufuna ke kano. Kati omukono gwe guno ogw'omuntu akukkiriza okulonda naye kati gwafulumye dda mu bantu ku nnasa gwavuddeyo dda. Kakati kino tekikyakola. Kano akapapula tekalina makulu ate ono yakampadde talina ddirwana dda okulaba nti omukono guno gwe yampadde gwe guno nagwo teguliiwo. Awo waliwo omuvuyo mwerenza kye ŋŋamba tusimbe layini. Oli n'endagamuntu yeggwanga nga eraga
abanga alina endagamuntu yeggwanga nga si wa kyebando tumukkiriza alonda.
Ekyo sikikkiriza. Endagamuntu ejja kuba emugamba nti gwe oli wa nsumbi va mu layini, gwe oli w'ebujuuko va mu layini. Naye kati ab'ebujuuko beewandiisiriza eno. Owulidde kadi endagamuntu eno yeggwanga yekusoma. Nze sifaayo ne bw'oba gwe wali mpadde akalulu naye nga tolina biwandiiko bino vaamu. Kino kifaanagana nga omupiira lifiri bw'ayongeramu eddakiika ziba za mwenna. Kyeŋŋamba nti ziba za mwenna muyina okuteeberamu oba oyagala. Kaakati nze nsigaze abo bennyini abalipiwa nga balina endagamuntu eya wano. Era singa twagenze nadda nga tukoze layini emu bwe tuti buli omu n'endagamuntu ye. Owulidde naye kibi nnyo mulirwana wange okumuggyamu olw'okuba teyeewandiisa ng'ate muzaale wa kuno ate n'onteeramu omuntu ayeewandiisa nga simumanyi na kumumanya. Ekyo tekikola makulu.
Maama gw'oyogera ki ku nsonga eno?
Kyenjogera wabula tusimbe layini ku muntu gwe tugenda olulonda nga tukozesa ndagamuntu.
nenga ate toli wa mu kitundu
nga tuli wa mu kitundu nawe toli wa mu kitundu muno
mama jakutunyumyemu mama gwamanyire ddoboozi
nze nakyeyune Farida
nakyeyune Farida olondera zoni eno
mwenondera ndina Land Road Mulamba
abange nsanyusa okulaba Land Road embeera eri mu kitundu eno nza gyogerako
isanyukira nnyo kuba twagala togikwatako
so bagambye registries teriimu
ebyo byonna byakulimba kano akalulu bakayita wooligwa wendigwa ku mugongo kyetwagala
poliisi egambye eri mu kuteesa n'abeesimbyewo okulaba nti mufuna engeri gye muyinza okitereeza bwolooza mwakitereezeza mutya nga abatuuze
ate ekyakyo ekyobupapula obupapula buveewo ffe tugende ku muntu gwe twagala kyetwagala n'endaga muntu zaffe amanya gaffe gali mu register kyetwagala obupapula tetubwagala era tebutugolole.
Well, there you have it, Josephine. You heard it from the landlady here. Only landlady? Farida, landlady here in, of course, Achewando zone. Well, we have an issue over the registrar. It has actually messed up the entire election. We're still at a standstill, but I've seen a couple of them around. I've seen the military guys. I've seen the police. Security seems to be getting a little higher, and the more security operatives are seen, the situation is getting much more tense. Josephine, all I can tell you, we just can't wait. They had actually assumed that will be done by noon, but it's 16 minutes past 10. Still, no people have actually been registered, rather checked in the registrar. And not only that, there is still more tense that is building up from here in Chevando.
Definitely a hot area, and we'll continue to come back to you for updates, and we certainly hope that it will remain peaceful and that you all be safe throughout this election process. Well, back to the people with me in the studio, we've been joined by Mr. Leonard Okello, who is the CEO of Uhuru Institute of Social Development. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Welcome here. I'm happy to be here.
And of course, we're still with Mr. John Mary Odoy, who is the Executive Director of Citizens Platform for Democracy and Accountability. Thank you for humoring me and staying with me this long. But you said you weren't going to vote anyway. So are you going? No, you're not going to vote now that you're here. We're holding you.
It will be a bit late. Yeah.
Yes, it will. Yeah. It will. What do you feel about this election?
I think, a few years back, I was in the Ministry of Finance and I was heading the Uganda Participatory Poverty Assessment. And in 144 sites, about 98% of Ugandans told us that the LC1 government is the most important government in their life.
And yet for 17 years it hasn't been there.
And unfortunately for 17 years it's not been undergoing these elections. And I mean, this was 1998 when we were doing this study, and all over the country, 98% told us it's the most important government.
What do you feel as an individual?
I think it is, because actually they deal with so many things that harmonize relationships and well-being in any village. If you look at you track a bit where LC1 is coming from, it was even in the days of the war in Rio Triangle, it was a very important instrument for intelligence, mobilization, and supplies to the fighters who were in Rio Triangle at that time. So it has a history of having been on the side of people to organize, harmonize, pass information, and provide services that were often, but sometimes are often not easily accessible. So when you find, when it took this long, it has always been something that worries. About February this year, I had a concern in our village in Boyogere where I live, so I went to the office of the LC1 chairman. He was not around, and I met some two ladies sitting in a nearby shop. I asked them where the chairman was. They told me, "You still come to the chairman?" You still waste time come to the chairman. No, this lady shocked me. He said, for us, when there's a problem, now we just go to the police, because the chairman has lost meaning. We don't know when they was last elected. So I'm hoping that this election will create that hope and excitement and give people some legitimacy. Because we begin to lose its legitimacy with too many years of no election.
Right. Well, you mentioned that the LC1, these local governments were there back then, and I'll just give a bit of history. So originally LCs were called RC, Resistance Councils, and they were created as a political and logistical support for the National Resistance Army, which had waged war against President Milton Obote's government at the time. The 1995 Constitution revised their name and duties, so the RCs became LCs. Previously, legislators were members of the National Resistance Council.
Correct.
So now we have a multi-party system.
Okay.
So what do you think in light of that? And we've already discussed this with John Mary, but I'd like to hear your thoughts.
I think that has even made it more complicated, because you see, when the NRA and the MP office in February 1986, President Museveni signed legal notice number 1, which declared individual merit as the modus operandi for contesting election. That meant political parties were not allowed to contest elections. And I think if you watch it at that time, then the 1995 Constitution made us all join the movement. All of us became part of the movement. And that parliament became a very active parliament. Remember? Yes. Parliament was very, very active, because really there were no partisan positions to take. Now with partisan positions, and I imagine the complexity is going to raise, and it's going to raise in a village setting. If I had it my way, it is if there is one office, I would say, let's leave it non-partisan, and maybe use individual merit would have been the LC one. So at least we have some place where you can have a consensus whenever there's a problem. We can talk, we can build some consensus, and we can negotiate among ourselves. Because they deal with very serious, they deal with security in the village, they deal with I'm going to open a bank account, I'm going to get a passport, you know, all those kind of things. They deal with it on a day-to-day basis, recommendations for people. And so they're a very powerful office that, whether you like it or not, wherever you are, it is that office that's going to vouch for you that you belong to even with the ID, that person will vouch for you that you belong to this village. So it's so important. Unfortunately, I feel, you can even see from the discussion on TV already, I can imagine the partisan tensions that are rising. I called a friend of mine this morning and asked her whether she had gone to vote. She said, no, I've just decided not to vote, because first, all the 3 candidates are my neighbors and they're very good friends. Every time I have a problem, they'll come here. So I don't know who to stand behind in the first place. Secondly, they also belong to different religions. So I'm now also imagining, I don't want to cause religious tension in the same village. So if it was secret ballot, it would have been easier for me to do it. So I've decided to wish them all well and stay home.
So how many people are wishing people well and staying home?
That is the situation we are dealing with.
He was speaking to Sudhir Biarhanga earlier, and he was speaking to Uhuru, and Uhuru was telling him he's not going to vote because they are all NRM candidates, they are all friends of his. So it really seems like it's the situation everywhere that we're actually worried about. We were talking about this earlier with John Mary. But listening to Sudhir and also Chamagera, as they were sharing what's happening in both Nansana and Kisenyi, Sudhir was speaking about NRM candidates switching to independent when they get to the ground. But what do you make of that?
It's simply because it becomes very complicated dealing with partisan interests, and therefore waving support. And if you know from the last election, the opposition actually won quite a sweeping swept the ground in Kampala, particularly Kampala Wakiso here. So probably it then becomes safer to go as an independent and set yourself as your character and your personal popularity than go partisan. I think that's one of the reasons what's causing that.
Yes, which is what we are saying. Both of you were saying earlier that it was better without this whole party system.
I would have preferred that the LC1 election becomes a place of national consensus.
Okay.
To start with.
Right. Well, John Mary, I saw you taking down some notes, and I thought those were notes we wanted to share with us at some point concerning this particular issue on the switch.
Let's talk about this, the partisan thing. For me, that I think is a critical thing. And it's going to cause a lot of divisions in the communities. And maybe it may not stop there. It's even going to cause even deaths and so on. Because, I mean, it's going to be, because if you look at it, and if you look at the way the campaigns are going on, it seems the stakes are quite high. People are really dying to get there. You ask yourself so many reasons why they're getting there, but they're dying to get there. So they'll do anything.
We know why they want to get there.
They'll do anything that will make them get there. So
you know, it's interesting. The LC1, especially in urban areas, has become a fairly lucrative office. Okay, you have this. I'm told in a village nearby where I live, where there is a chairman who has a heap of letters for introduction to the bank, or you just fill your name, for passports and for all these to the police who lost ID, whatever. So he leaves this young man in his office, say, how many papers I left for you? So in the evening, what am I going to get in the evening if all this thing goes? 400,000. So it goes.
So if each of them is 10K?
Already stamped. This person job just to fill everywhere. People are coming on a day-to-day basis. So the average, this person probably take about 20,000 shillings a day. That's not bad money.
But you know,
better than what the LC5 chairman takes in a month.
I'll give it to that particular LC because you know what, he actually has somebody helping to do the job.
Yeah, very well organized. He's very organized, and people in his village are very happy because he does it very organized.
Yes.
And
it's
the
timely.
has to record who took it, so he comes and checks in case there's an error. The person is called back, and so apparently.
Well, some were quite organized.
What I didn't realize was how lucrative it has become. I was in Masolita recently, and I was on my way to and fro. There was a lot of excitement. So I almost thought there was a member of parliament who had come around. It turned out it was the LC who had come. I realized, wow, this thing is no longer such a small office.
It's a very popular office.
It's a very popular office and a fairly lucrative office. Because why should somebody spend all that money? If it's not going to pay back. So there's quite a bit.
So one of the questions we're asking ourselves before you joined us was if I'm an LC and I'm expected to have a day job, at what time or when do I get to do my LC duties and be efficient and effective at them? So this particular person that you've mentioned is very, very, very creative.
He's very creative.
He got himself an assistant.
And his assistant is doing job as instructed, does it very well. But I think the most important part of it is that actually there's more than just these receipts and letters of recommendation. There's also some 20% which comes back from the sub-county to the LC1.
25%, I think.
And it's not very clear to me how it's used in the village. And I think this time
that's money that goes underground. Plus now you're going to get paid, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be a very interesting experience going forward.
Okay. Well, the elite, do you see the elite participating in these elections, or do they constantly leave these positions to people at the grassroots?
I think for me, in general democratization in Uganda, I think the Ugandan elite, two of us sitting here, three of us sitting in this room, we are not on a line somewhere. I think probably we want to put it, let down the population. We are the ones who never used to.
In my defense, I don't know about the two of you. I'm working. You're supporting.
What we should be doing is that you get 2 hours here, then when somebody else comes and replaces
I run and go and vote.
Line up and come back, something like that.
Okay.
And because everybody's voting. In other countries, like Australia, if you don't vote, you pay heavily.
Okay.
You get fined and actually even go to prison. That's serious. So I think to some extent, sometimes I think maybe we should one of these years consider
fines and penalties.
Make it some penalty if you don't vote, because there's a big population who are the ones who make so much noise when things are not working well.
We have social media to turn to and express ourselves, and it doesn't really do anything for us.
Good. Social media actually puts out, and I think what's important about social media, it puts out what often in the past would have never been seen in the public domain, which is good. It's making governance more and more transparent, but your legitimacy or your moral authority to question is serious if you don't actually vote. And I think that's where
but the problem is that
I'm hoping after a year we'll still be able to go and vote.
I don't know if I'm about to let you go, but we'll see.
We'll try and see. But for me, what I want to trace here is that I think an election should be something that you look forward to participating in. But if you look at the circumstances and which I think some of our elections are organized here, I mean, you just say, I should just pull back, I should not participate, because, I mean, in so many cases, people say, after all, we know what's going to come out already. Or how the things have been arranged. I mean, like you look at the last elections in Kampala. Ballot boxes coming in at 4 p.m. and I mean, it's a problem. If we can get the EC organize elections that are sweet, that are nice to participate in, that you look for participating, then I think the elites will say, okay, I think I must go and take a decision. Even standing, by the way, participating in this. I mean, so many people are capable of offering themselves to become, candidates and, take leadership. But I mean, if you look at the way things are organized, you who think that maybe you are able to deliver even something better, you stand with somebody who perhaps may not even deliver. The other guy will win and you will go. they'll throw you out very badly. So I mean, who wants to go on that share? So I think we must find a way in this country to make sure that elections are really, worth looking forward to.
I would agree with you with reservations. Because actually election is a citizen's cardinal responsibility. So your responsibility, even if it's not very sweet,
you must do it.
You must do it. Because if you wait for sweetness only, you don't look after your children, for instance, because children can disappoint you, your wife could disappoint you, your husband could disappoint you. So when it becomes that kind of, it's like, it's a responsibility. So because the responsibility is not always sweet. I think actually, I worry that the elite in this country do not take elections so seriously, and yet are very good at complaining, and is complaining quite a bit on social media. And the result is we end up often being governed by people we think, by our levels of education and knowledge and experiences, should not be the ones governing us. But you did not contest. So you should not complain.
No, but you have heard of these cases. Just a minute, let me share this. Have you heard of the cases where people do the voting, the counting is done, then at the end of the day, the person who didn't win is the one who is elected. I mean, is announced as the winner, and takes up the position. I mean, if you're an elite and you look at such a thing, say, now, why should I participate in this? Because you'll go, put in your vote, and then at the end of the day, it's turned around and it's given somebody else.
Maybe we should also be trying to get to spaces of counting.
Yeah, we should actually line up for even those as well, so that the elite can.
Actually, we need to go to the tally gadgets. I mean, where the computer, where the summary is being done, and so on. I think we need to be there and we see what's being fed in.
They should put large screens so that we can actually all watch from wherever we all can fit there.
Is that those who manipulate even the Cambridge Analytica of this world are the elite.
Before I let you both go and join in the election, so that we do not get penalized on your behalf, I'm wondering about this lining up system. Is it that there was no money? Because we know that the French ambassador said the EU was willing to, give money for this particular election. And then we also know that the government released 6.2 billion shillings to fund the LC1 elections. Are we really saying there was no money?
I think there will always be money. Once we decide to have money to do something, there will always be money. I will say, with due respect to the EU and the French ambassador, that Leonard, me, the Pan-Africanist, I'm very uncomfortable with the idea of the EU giving us money for LC1 elections. I am very uncomfortable with it. It's not that I don't respect them. I think they mean well for us. But I think they should keep their money and we should deal with our LC1 elections. Okay? I think there are many other things that can help us, our electoral commission with the computer systems, whatever, all these kind of things. And I think this LC1 election, I think we can organize it even without EU money. I think we can find money.
We have, haven't we?
And we are going to do it.
But we are going to line up.
But it's just we decided to line up. The most important thing is that we decided to line up.
Why did we decide to line up?
That's a question.
Knowing that
we need to get the members of parliament to help us advise. But I think I respect the international friends a lot. But please, I think I would agree with government that it was not a bad idea for them to say no to that money.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I think they wish we could reduce on something else, and they give us that money for health, for education, or for roads, and then the money would have sent to road. We can then do our elections.
No, but I think our development partners or our friends, they were concerned about how we are going to do it, because I mean, if the international community is saying, or they believe, or the conventions are saying, that we need to do an electoral process where your secrecy, where your choice is not
where you're protected.
Where you're protected. And I think they're just offering, and I mean, and I think His Excellency has been saying that there's no money to do this. And I think the EC and many other officers in the government have been saying, I think there's no money. So I think for them to come out with a nice heart to give us money, I mean, they should have accepted so that,
Yeah, that's the good thing about it. It was an offer. And offers can be accepted.
The Pan-Africanist in him has rejected that offer. Okay, well, just very quickly, I'd like us to wrap up. What would you like to say finally about the meeting that is taking place today? What do you hope for coming out of it? I'll start with you, and then you can wrap us up, January.
Okay. First thing, whether you are going to vote or not, recognize that the LC1 office is a very important office. It's a very practical government that engages all of us at a village level, whether you are so highly educated or such a senior person or low. Second, that means we should all take it seriously, whether we are actively participating in it or not. And my hope that when it is all done, we all recognize that somebody will win and somebody will lose, because it's election, you know the answer. Somebody will lose, even if it were rigged. Somebody will still win and somebody will lose. And the person who is in office and wins, let's create some stability. I think one of the big things that I've seen in elections across Africa is that it then becomes the foundation for instability, because it doesn't help any of us to have instability progressing in this country. We have had enough of it, I think, in my view, that we could do something better to make this country more stable and working well for all of us.
Okay.
Okay. I know I would like to encourage everybody to go out and also be part of this, and I would like to ask the voters to be calm. Be calm, be civil, be good at the polling station. And I'd also like to advise our colleagues, the Electoral Commission, that we won't see credible, authentic results coming through. We don't want to see things that, you know, have holes in them, that are going to be doubted, that are going to be contested. No, please bring out the results as they should be. And also, I would like to perhaps advise the community that, you know, this is your thing. So if you don't do it well, if you choose anybody because of excitement, because of some money that has been given you, or because of the drinks that you've been given, or because of some other reasons, well, if the person is bad, you're going to lose out. So I think it's upon you to make sure that you choose somebody who is going to be helpful to the community. And finally, whichever party, because it is a partisan thing, whichever party that's going to have the majority of the people elected under it, I think don't show so much excitement and even start abusing and using it. No, just be calm. If that has happened, it has happened, and let's take it so. And whoever will be chosen, would like to advise that, you know, don't serve people in a partisan manner. Serve people as people in your community, as people who deserve to be served in the best way.
Okay. And very quickly as we close, I know that one of the reasons, and I'm hoping this doesn't come up as an issue later, one of the reasons that these elections were constantly postponed was because some people came up and went to court and said we have candidates in school who you know, could have voted. What's different now? Because we still have candidates in school. We still have eligible voters in school.
And for me, that's a very big issue, and I don't know why they had to do it. That means that whatever case that was fronted was just ignored, so they didn't care about the art contested that was supposed to participate in this process.
It's because Mr. Kuei lost interest in it.
Oh, okay, well, thank you very much, both of you, for taking the time to speak with us on the show today. Thank you very much. I wish you a good voting day, and I hope we'll have the peace that we all hope for. We'll take a break right now. When we return, Patrick Mukasa will be taking us still through election day, but with Luganda's audience.
Thank you very much.
That's the strength of genuine cement. Have you tasted one? The cement king of East Africa is here. Simba Cement. More strength in every bag. For many years, we've been part of life and landmarks in East Africa. Ask the price before you decide. We guarantee the best quality at affordable price. Available countrywide. Call +256 200 303 599 or +256 200 303 504. Simba Cement. Building the nation.
What do you have to do today? Take my morning job.
Make breakfast for my family.
Take the kids to school.
Open the shop.
Present my assignment.
Brief my team.
Write an essay.
Check on my stock.
Write a report.
Learn something new. Play basketball.
Meet the production team.
Attend to my customers.
Whatever you and your family have to do, give them the power they need for the day with Nutri-Family. Nutri-Family is a delicious multi-grain nutritious porridge that gives you 13 vitamins, 4 minerals, and proteins required to have the energy and alertness you need to get through the day. Nutri. Every spoonful counts.
Introducing Pampers New Baby Dry, specially designed to protect your newborn skin. New size 1 from Pampers, the #1 choice of pediatricians.
long day's work, you need a comfortable living room. A living room that will make you appreciate your hard work. Dreamline Furniture brings you world-class furniture all the way from Turkey. Come and enjoy our 20% discount. Ample parking space is available behind the Winton Road.
On the next episode is brought to you by
Kiri Soda.
Rita, I have a question for you. Are women their own worst enemy?
The women are very supportive to each other and they have massively contributed to